have you ever noticed how vocal skill and confidence are not always related? Like you overhear someone with a beautiful voice sing and you tell them, wow, your voice is so beautiful. And they're like, oh my God, no, I'm such a bad singer. I hate the sound of my voice, blah, 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 blah. And then they start hiding it again. And you're like, what? You're so good. What are you talking about? And then on the other hand, you have somebody who can barely match pitch and they're belting their hearts out, having the time of their lives. You'd think that someone who is technically a better singer, a more skilled singer, would feel more confident, right? Well, that's just not how it works. Hey singer, and welcome to this little bonus lesson of my voice lesson mini series where I am walking you through the three, well, I guess technically with this bonus lesson, 4 most common challenges that singers are experiencing and how to solve those issues. If you haven't seen part 1, 2, and 3 yet, be sure to check those out. They're linked below. They'll help you build a great and solid and effortless and sustainable foundation for your singing. In case you are new here, hello, my name is Lara. I'm a vocal coach on a mission to help singers actually like the sound of their own voice and help them always put their best foot forward so that they can feel confident and comfortable singing in front of anyone. If you've ever recorded yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate the sound of my voice, or the thought of singing in front of others scares the bejesus out of you, then it is time to finally address what is actually going to help you feel more confident in your singing, no matter your current skill level. I think we can all agree that advice like fake it till you make it, or just keep practicing, you'll get better, or even exposure therapy doesn't really work, right? But in order to truly feel more confident in your singing abilities, we need to first address where that confidence actually comes from. In my experience, in my own voice, and in the voices of the hundreds of singers that I have worked with one-on-one, I have seen how singers feel the most confident in their voice when they truly like the sound of their voice. That doesn't mean that they think they're the best singer ever or that they can sing any song under the sun. They know they're not perfect. They know that there is room for improvement, but they actually truly like the sound of their voice. So the question is, how do you actually start liking the sound of your voice? Yeah, sure. Technique is important because that's going to help you open up your tone and expand your range and unlock vibrato and do all these things that you want to be able to do with your voice. And yes, that's important. And that's what part 1, 2, and 3 of this little mini series are for, to help you build up your vocal technique, your vocal skills, right? Sure, that plays a role. But that is just a small portion of feeling more confident and actually liking the sound of your voice. The most important part to actually liking the sound of your voice and therefore performing with confidence when you're singing in front of others is knowing your strengths. For us humans, it is so easy to focus on the things that we can't do yet that we completely neglect and forget about the things that we actually can do. And then that makes us feel like we can't do anything, and that's just factually incorrect. And here's the biggest issue with this. If you don't know what your strengths are, you will constantly pick the wrong songs for your voice, making you feel even more inadequate. Every voice, every singer is unique and different. And that means not every song out there is for everyone. Imagine Adele singing an Ariana Grande song. While it might not sound absolutely terrible, Adele is not going to sound as good singing an Ariana Grande song as she usually does when she's singing her own songs. They have completely different voices and they know it, so they stick to their lane. Yes, they can do a lot of different things, which is awesome, but still, they're very, very different. And it's the same thing for you. If you have more an Adele kind of voice, you probably don't want to be singing Ariana Grande and vice versa. So no matter how good you are at singing, whether you are just starting out or you're already really advanced, the most important thing is picking the right song for your voice or adjusting the song, like changing the key of it, making it higher or making it lower or changing some of the melodies a little bit so that it fits your voice like a glove. I always say make the song fit your voice, not your voice fit the song. Coach Juliana on our team has this really cool analogy where she says, you don't squeeze your foot into a shoe that's too small and you're like, well, but I just have to make this work because the shoe is perfect the way it is. Like, no, you just buy the right size shoe for your foot. It's stupid doing anything else, right? It's the same thing for your voice. Make the song fit your voice, not your voice fit the song. So the question is, how do you actually pick the right song, or how do you, adjust the song so that it fits your voice like a glove or like the perfect shoe? You have to know your prima voce. Your prima voce is the sweet spot of your voice. It's where you feel the best. It's where you sound the best. And it's just where singing feels rather easy for you. So many singers think that singing is hard. And when it's hard, they know they're doing it right because now they're doing the more difficult stuff. I'm here to tell you that actually the opposite is true. The easier singing feels, the better the feedback and the result that you're getting, feedback from others and from yourself as well. I see this especially with singers that are auditioning for anything. They always want to pick like the most difficult song that they can kind of pull off, right? Because they think like the more difficult, the more impressive, the more, the judges and the audience are going to be like, wow, they're such an amazing singer. But here's the thing. Yes, it is impressive if you can pull off a Whitney Houston song, but if you're kind of struggling through it to get it, and yeah, sure, you can kind of get it, but it just doesn't seem like you're quite comfortable doing it, then that is not going to impress anybody. What's really impressive is when you sing a song that feels comfortable in your voice and we can hear that it's comfortable. The worst feeling, at least for me when I'm an audience member, is sitting in the audience, listening to a singer, and they're just kind of struggling through it. And I'm like, please, dear Lord, don't let them crack, right? Like I feel that. And I'm not just because I'm a voice teacher, I can feel that. The average person can feel that as well when you just don't feel quite comfortable singing that song. So we should always prioritize comfort, right? Like feeling good when you're singing that song and not just pushing through and kind of struggling through that song. I promise you the feedback that you're going to get from everybody is going to be a lot better when you sing something that's maybe technically less challenging but feels good than when you're singing the most difficult song that you can kind of pull off. That doesn't mean that you should never sing those songs. You absolutely can for fun and for practice, but maybe they're just not the right audition or performance song. So how do you actually know what your prima voce is? Well, here are 4 questions that you can ask yourself. First, what were you able to do really well before you had any sort of vocal training, if you've already had any training? Second, where does singing feel the easiest in your voice? Third, where does singing sound the best to you? Is it low? Is it high? Is it somewhere in the middle? And lastly, is there something that other people keep commenting on in your voice that they really like? This is what helped me get a management deal down in Nashville, Tennessee when I was releasing my own music and doing my own artist project. For years, like literally more than a decade, I was chasing high notes and belting my face off. Why? Because I couldn't do it. I wasn't born with that kind of voice. I had to learn how to do it. And I was obsessed with singers like Christina Aguilera and Beyonce, and that's all I heard on the radio. And I truly thought as a kid that if I want to be a successful singer, I need to be able to sing just like them, aka belting my face off and singing really high. Fast forward a couple years to my Berklee College of Music days when I was auditioning for this manager. I sent him a video of me singing Christina Aguilera's You Lost Me, and he ghosted me after that, even though he was very communicative right before that. And I was like, oh, God damn it. That's a no. And at this point, I have been very used to hearing no's, and I was like, maybe I just don't have what it takes to make it in this industry. But then I remembered that I had this recording of me singing The Story by Brandy Carlisle. And I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose, so I'm just going to send him this video and see what happens. And so I did. And I kid you not, within 2 hours, he called me and he was like, oh my God, Lara, your low notes are amazing. You have a gold mine down there. Come down to Nashville, we'll sign the contract and let's start working together. And I was like, excuse me, sir, my low notes? Literally for the last 10 years, I have been working on my high notes and my belt. As you can hear, sounds awesome in the song, right? And now you're commenting on my low notes? What the heck? But then about 5 minutes later, I was like, oh my God, he is so right. My low notes, I don't even have to think about them. They just come out. It's so easy. It's what I could do before I had any sort of training. It's the only thing I could do before I had any sort of training. And it's usually what people comment on when they hear me sing. They say like, yeah, really great, really awesome belt notes, blah, 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 but your low notes are really awesome. And it never really registered with me until I heard him say that, because he was an authority figure, right? And I was like, oh my God, this actually makes sense. So I started prioritizing my low notes, and everything started falling into place from there on out. I got my songs on the radio. I went on tour. I played festivals and like so many shows. I did TV interviews, magazine interviews, radio interviews. I did all of the whole artist stuff, right? That you do when you're an artist. And I saw all of the success after finally understanding that my low notes are my prima voce and that I should probably stick to that most of the time. That doesn't mean I should never sing high. I can, but just because you can doesn't always mean you should, at least not all the time. Okay? That is the power of knowing your strengths, knowing your prima voce. Not only is the feedback that you're going to get from others going to be a whole lot better, but also it's going to help you see, wow, okay, I'm actually not that bad. Sure, there's a lot that I still have to learn, but also this is actually quite good, and I like the sound of my voice here.
It's been really helpful. Like I said, it's hard to not feel a little emotional while I'm singing that way, because it just feels so much easier than what I've been doing. Because again, I feel like I've just been trying so hard in those parts, and it feels so much easier to sing that way. It almost feels like I almost feel guilty singing that way, because I'm like, this is too easy. So yeah, no, it's very helpful. Thank you.
And then obviously you can start working on some of the challenges that you're experiencing then too, to expand your vocal skill set and, just get better and better and better overall. But having something that you can hold on to where you're like, yeah, I really like this, is so important. And that's what's going to help you feel a lot more confident in your singing.
So I had an interesting moment today in my vocal lesson that I'd like to share with you. I am practicing for about 3 weeks now. And for the first time, I realized that everything that I wanted to do with my voice, but I always was too afraid of, that actually already lies within me. And I already bring to the table what I always wanted to do. And so I am very excited, and it's a very beautiful feeling to know that you're enough, and that with consistent practicing, you can actually really reach your goal. I'm very excited to see what the future brings.
If you need some more help identifying your prima voce, picking the right songs for your voice, and just overall work on expanding your vocal skill set so that you can, feel more confident in your singing, then please go ahead and book a one-on-one session with me. I'd love to get the chance to sing with you, have a listen to you, workshop a couple things together to really get a feel for your voice and see what does your voice need, and create a customized training plan specifically for your voice so that you can reach your singing goals rather sooner than later. You can book a session with me by just clicking the link below in the description, pick a day and a time that works well for you, and I will send you the Zoom link for our session. And this is the end of our little voice lesson mini series. We first in part 1 talked about releasing tension so that you can sing more effortlessly, more sustainably, and just making sure that you can keep your instrument healthy. Then we talked about breathing so that you're not constantly running out of breath, and how to actually support your notes in part 2. And then in part 3, we talked about how to hit high notes without cracking, right? By working on your mix and that balance in your singing. And now here in this little bonus part, we talked about how to like the sound of your own voice and identify your prima voce so that you can feel more confident when you are singing in front of anyone. session. I hope that this was helpful and that this gave you a nice little launch pad or relaunch pad for your singing journey. If you have this deep desire to work on your voice and set your voice free and sing with freedom and power and with confidence as well, then please book a one-on-one session with me. I only have a few spots available every week because my time is limited, believe it or not. And I would love to get the chance to sing with you and help you with your voice and create a customized plan specifically for you. So if you're serious about this, go ahead and book the session now and I'll send you my Zoom link and I can't wait to see you there. Otherwise, check out some of our other videos right here and have fun exploring your voice. I'll see you there.